Welcome. You just suddenly started. Welcome to another episode of podcast. Woo. Here we have again Mr. Jeremy.
Yes.
He's back with a revenge.
Yes, part 2.
Don't know revenge what, but yeah. So
Revenge of the Gamers.
yeah, we talked about how we will come back for one more episode because we realized we didn't have enough time to talk about what we wanted to talk about the other time.
Yeah, we went on a tangent last time.
Yeah, talk too much about our. It's surprisingly, Yvette's friend found it interesting.
Yeah, my friends as well actually.
Yeah, they said like they don't play games, but they thought it was quite interesting.
Okay,
to hear.
that's good. I mean, I'm glad that people are finding our rambles interesting. But I think my friends also watched it actually. I mean, those that have not watched your podcast before, but maybe I shared it on my Instagram,
okay.
so they watched it.
Oh.
And then they were also saying that a lot of the things that we talked about were quite they were quite nostalgic to them as well, like Diablo and all the old games on Windows and things like that. Yeah. So it's quite interesting.
We are growing. Actually, to be honest, after that podcast, I didn't really post anything for like a month
you
plus.
were MIA for a while.
Yeah, I just got too lazy to do anything. But we're back on the roll. Last week was our episode with a good friend who does a lot of jobs, So
that was interesting. I listened to that as well. That's interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully this one comes out next week. So by the time you hear this, it's like 2 weeks gap. But to be honest, I don't know what's the next one.
Haven't planned yet.
I got no writers in my team, guys. I don't plan so far ahead.
Yes.
But today I know.
I shout out to my wife again. My wife, shout
shout
out. Woo! I'm sure she'll watch this podcast again. She's a loyal fan now.
So pointless, but still. That was like the energy not there. Yeah. But anyway, it sounded a bit loud. Let me just.
Oh, sorry.
No. I think I just need to adjust. Your volume is okay. But today we're going to talk about Final Fantasy 7. I guess need to say spoiler alert first. I don't know if you still haven't played. I don't know why. I think if you buy the PS4, there's a subscription service, right, or something. Then I think they have FF7 for free or something.
Yeah, I saw them advertising for that as well. Yeah.
So
it's quite a good deal.
I don't know. I think most of my friends who interested in playing has already played it. But yeah, just a spoiler. What do you call that? A notification. No spoiler. Preamble. What's that word?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Okay. Yeah. That we may cover things that cover in the story. We will cover things that happen in the story.
Yeah. Can I just say that? I mean, I'm really quite excited for this episode. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah. Because Final Fantasy, I mean, and including Final Fantasy 7 Remake is like, I mean, one of my favorite like game series. So I'm always very excited to talk about Final Fantasy games.
But when you played FF7, how old were you? The original game?
Or original one? Oh, that was long time ago, man. So Final Fantasy 7 original was the game that I think kind of made me want to own a PS, like PlayStation 1, the first one.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that was the first, I think that was my first Final Fantasy game, like Final Fantasy 7 on a PS1. And that was like about secondary 1, maybe, around there.
So you found out about this game through your friends?
Through my friends, yeah.
And you saw them play, then you find it interesting that you want to play also.
Correct. I went to my friend's place, then he was playing it, then I was like, oh, what's this game? Then it looks very interesting. Like, it was like turn-based, and then at that point in time,
then there's an open world kind of thing.
Yeah. Then it was like, oh, like the animation was like, wow, quite cool. I mean, even though now if you watch it on YouTube, it's kind of like
Cuboid,
super, lo-fi. Yeah. But at that point in time, and I think that was like, 2000... ish, like around there lah. Because I think Final Fantasy 7 original came out in 1997. Yeah, so I played it only in about 2000 like that lah. And then at the point in time, it was like one of the it was such a like a groundbreaking game like for its generation lah.
The experience because of the. Why will you feel that way? Is it because of the storytelling?
Yeah, like open world. It's like 4 disc, which is quite rare at that time. It was one of those games whereby you have to change the disc because the data is too big. open world. I mean, there's a lot of customization. So basically, it has all the elements of a good RPG lah, in a sense. And that was one of the first few games I think that kind of made me dive into like or become very interested in playing like role-playing games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, also just maybe some context. I guess this episode we also want to. I think what I think will make our conversation interesting is also because Jeremy comes from a place where he actually played the original game when it comes to FF7. I personally haven't played the original game, but I grew up with a lot of influence in terms of like my friends. A lot of them actually played the game because when I was growing up, I never owned a PS1. Until like. I think I own one. I only own one after I got. I don't know whether I mentioned in the last podcast. I only got one after PS2 comes out.
No, you didn't mention that. Yeah.
This is so irritating. So you know what I find irritating is because I remember when I don't know why my parents say that they don't mind buying for me.
Yeah.
So we were at this kind of neighborhood game shop. So we were looking at the consoles. I don't know whether it's because I did well in school or whatsoever. So they don't mind buying the console. So we were talking to the shop owner. So the shop owner has a PS2 and PS1.
Yeah.
The PS1 is the small one.
Yeah.
It's the newer version
of
the mini lah.
Not the bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way he couched it was like, PS2 just come out, don't have a lot of games. PS1 got all these games that's already out. Yeah, so like, and it's cheaper, so it's like, you can choose which one you want to play.
Is it those shop that sell the pirated CD one?
I don't know whether they did though. I can't remember. Maybe they did lah. But the pirated one usually is they don't display it. You must ask one.
You have an album.
Uncle, do you have the album? Then he will just take out from
yeah.
They can flip through. But yeah, so in the end, I don't know whether I got tricked into buying a PS1. But yeah, by the time I bought it, I think most of my friends already moved on to PS2. Yeah. So I remember the game that I really played was the only game that I remember completing as an RPG was Legend of Mana.
I played that as well. Yeah.
But FF8 I played. I didn't complete the game. Yeah. So but I never played FF7. I was very interested in FF10 as well because a lot of my friends were playing it. It's on PS2, right? FF10.
PS3.
3?
2?
I think PS2
okay, maybe it's the last of the PS2.
Actually, you know what? It might be PS3. Because I remember FF9 seems like it's
yeah, it may be PS2.
FF10.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh god. Why did I open that? FF10.
Yeah. Is it PS2? Yeah. It's the last of the PS2s. Yeah. Okay.
It was re-released in PS3. Yeah. So, yeah. But I do consume like content from FF7 related stuff. Like I played I played Crisis Core.
Yeah.
In PSP on PSP. I watched the movie Evan Children. I thought that was like freaking cool.
Yeah, the animation is very good in that show. Yeah.
So yeah. So when I think FF7, the Evan Children was the one that really got me like invested in the whole I guess FF7 world. Yeah, because I guess it's like, wow, Tifa so chill. Yeah, that Cloud is like so cool with all the fucking swords. Yeah. And then the fighting scenes were all quite cool then also.
Yeah, but then when you watch Evan Children, you haven't played the game itself, right?
No.
Would you think it was a bit confusing, like when you watched the
I think
movie?
at the start, yes, a bit. But I guess I also have some of my questions answered by my friends lah.
Oh, okay.
So my friends were also along the way explain.
Because for me, even though I played the game, I still found it confusing.
It's actually quite confusing.
Yeah.
So I guess like some parts you just like, oh okay, but then like, oh, the fight scenes are cool.
Yeah. I mean the cool part is all the fighting, the CGI and those things.
To be fair, a lot of the storyline stuff I also only after playing Remake and go and do some research, then I kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because the timeline is very confusing. And then it's like, why is all these people... Why did that guy suddenly turn to Sephiroth?
Yeah.
Keep calling the Genova the Karsang. Her mother, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Karsang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
so it became quite confusing because I'm not sure whether this is correct, but I think the director of the Advent Children movie is the director. Also, I mean, the director of the Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts is another game from Square Enix, right? And so he's famous for creating all these very complicated storyline things. So that's why the movie was also quite complicated.
But it's interesting because once it's like if it's a bit complicated, it also spark conversations.
Yeah.
Right. People start discussing on forum. Then people have their own interpretations.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is okay I guess it's like a give and take If it's too complicated, then it's like bad. But like if it's complicated enough, but not to the extent of like throwing people off.
Yeah. And I just think that people are very invested in Final Fantasy VII that, I mean, even if the movie is complicated, people will try to find out what's going on.
Yeah. So, my experience I played, I think, if I'm not wrong, I put in about 80 plus hours in the game. In Remake.
Okay.
I played through the hard mode.
Yep.
Which is basically replay the whole game again. And I also get the platinum trophy, which is to complete every single small achievements in the game. Yeah. What about you? You played through once?
I played through the hard mode as well, but I did not complete all the trophies because I think I was telling you that I found it a bit. But I mean, for me, I think it's more as me as a personality as a gamer is that I usually don't go for the 100%. So usually when I play games, I'll play through the whole story, including its additional content at the end, and then I wouldn't go for the trophies. So I was telling you that it was a bit tedious for me to keep going back and trying to finish all the quests so that I can get the 100% completion.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's more like because that period was the time where I was streaming. It was during the circuit breaker. I played during the circuit breaker period. I was streaming it. Then I just thought that it would be fun to just have like the full thing complete I have to say I'm also not really a gamer that tries to go for full 100%. Because to be honest, not a lot of games that I can say that I have full completion. I think only FF7 Remake is a game that I really can say that I completed the game fully. Yeah, but it was quite interesting because actually I did enjoy the game quite a lot So there are some parts I just don't mind replaying to re-see. In fact, what's interesting is I have a very interesting I won't say I will have very interesting perspective, but what I did after playing through once, fully once, I actually went to read out a bit more before I went to play the hard mode.
Yeah.
So I went to I went to research a bit more. I went to rewatch I think before even I played the game, I went to rewatch Advent Children.
Okay.
Yeah, so Advent Children, there was in fact then I realized there was a Blu-ray release of the
I think so. Yeah.
That has a slightly different fighting scene at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the fighting scene was a bit different. Later I can show you.
Okay. Are you going to spoil your audience about the last fighting scene of Advent Children? Are you going to spoil them?
Spoil which part?
Who is the? I mean, are we going to talk about Advent Children?
Yeah, we can just talk.
Okay.
The spoiler alert already. If you are still here and you angry that I spoil you, then too bad
No, so the last fighting scene was with Sephiroth as well, right?
Yeah.
So what's different then?
I think there was a bit more gore, like a bit more blood.
Oh,
and then
I thought it's like a different.
No. So it's
story.
the same conclusion. It's just that the fight scenes are at the end it was a bit different the way it played out.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe I'll go and.
Then
check
the
that
Omni
out.
Slash that happened was also looks a bit different.
Okay. Interesting.
But so going back to FF7 Remake as a game, when you played it, what were your expectations and how do you see were you confused when you were playing through it? Like what were your thoughts when going into it?
Okay, so maybe let me rewind a bit when the Final Fantasy Remake trailer first came out. I forgot when was that, but they showed how the game was, the first few fighting scenes and how it is and you could see that it's like it's not turn-based anymore. It's like action RPG, right?
Yeah.
And then as original like FF7 player, you'll be a bit like, what's this? Like are they going with the whole like, trying to make a new experience? But I don't want that. I just want to have the original experience.
But maybe with a better graphics.
Yeah, correct. So I was a bit skeptical when I saw the trailer, I would say. But then having played the game, I think they did the game justice in remaking it. I would say that they made it. I mean, actually, I wouldn't say whether is it. I wouldn't compare it with the original at all, because it by itself actually an entirely different game. I feel like if the story is the same, but the whole game is different really. So I would say that both the original and the new remake is both like excellent game. I mean, by its own merit lah. So story-wise, I think they followed quite closely throughout. Even some narration, they basically just lifted from the old game. The only difference is, as you would know, the last part lah. The final part, which kind of everyone was like, what's going on? Because it seems to suggest that it's an alternate reality kind of thing, right? Yeah. So that part also, like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with it, but I'm quite optimistic that if, let's say, they do want to change up the second part of this remake, I think I will be on board with that lah. I wouldn't be like too like like elitist or whatever, just
snobbish.
Snobbish.
Like, only the OG is the best.
Yeah. I think they did well lah. I think they did well in trying to give like a new like turn. I mean, a new perspective to the game. Yeah.
Do you consume a lot of the like people discussing about the whole what is this remake about? Because I actually consume quite a lot.
Yeah, I know you told me about that. But so when you
theories and all that shit.
Yeah, so when you told me about it, right? Because I think you were telling me about it even before I started playing. Like, you were saying that the ending is a bit different. So I was like, I went in with the expectation that there is something different at the end. But then so then after the end, I finished the game for the first time around. I went to actually watch some YouTube to see what it means lah. And then I was like, it's some suggestion that maybe they are in like a different, that there's some difference in the next part because they are trying to change the fate or something like that.
Yeah. So I think based on what I gathered, I think the way that they couch it was that Aerith went back in time essentially and manifest herself in this new so-called timeline lah. And there was some the way that they decided, that's not say decide but concluded on that, was that I think like the very starting scene, like I think the OG game, she like look through and there's some like when you first see her
look up,
she look out and then she just like walk normally and then drop the flower or whatever. You can see that in the remake, when she first looked up, she was like in a panic mode. And she was like running away. So I think at the very start, she already knew about what do they call those things again? Those ghost thing. Yeah,
I forgot the name already. Let me check. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, do you know what are the ghost things in?
So the way that the way that they explain it was that those things are like the will of the world or something like that.
Okay.
And they basically
whispers.
The whispers. They basically want to keep the original. So they kind of represents like the snobbish people that wants the story to go on the original line. They want the timeline to remain the same. So anything that disrupt the timeline, they will try to fix it.
Right.
So they're neither good or bad. They just wants to make things as
where
per normal.
Originally supposed to be lah.
Which is why like there are scenes like, for example, you thought that they are bad, then they injured like what's her name again? Jenny? Is it Jenny? Shit, I forgot her name.
I think it's Jenny.
Oh shit, suddenly forget.
I mean, it's been a while since I played this.
FF7.
Jenny.
Jessie,
right?
Yeah, so there's a part where they're supposed to go and bomb the reactor or something, but Cloud initially is not going. Then the whisper came and like hurt Jessie. The end up Cloud has to go.
I see.
Yeah, so they're trying to force the storyline back on track.
Right.
Yeah. Then the part also where Sephiroth killed
Barrett. Yeah.
But then the whisper resurrected him.
Yeah. I see.
That's part of the whispers trying to move things back to normal.
I see.
Because-
That makes sense.
Because Barrett not supposed to die there.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense actually.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
So actually, all of this makes sense lah. Then there's a lot of times also it shows how Aerith already know the future. Like she already knew that the plate is gonna fall. So she was already prepared for it. There was also a scene where she went into the house to save Marlene, right?
Yeah.
Then Marlene was like actually panicking and like, who are you? And then she kind of show her a vision. I think she also did something similar to
Oh really?
what's that, Raid 13.
Oh yeah.
Raid 13 actually very aggressive.
Yeah.
But I don't know what vision they never really say lah. Yeah, so she also showed him a vision and he calmed down. Yeah.
So is that the reason why she's the only person who could see the whisper at the start? Is that
I mean, I guess she is also that what's that race? The
ancient or something.
yeah, the ancient
Yeah.
Sentra or something.
Yeah. I think the original game they call them like ancient or something.
Cetra.
Okay.
Yeah, but she kind of knew. It shows there's quite a lot of examples lah. I can't remember fully, but a video, there was a YouTube video that explained them very well.
Yeah.
That highlights all the key moments. It shows quite clearly that Aerith knew what's going on. Yeah.
So is the last part where before the final battle is Sephiroth, they fought this like bosses, which is the Fate or whatever.
So so my understanding is they explain the theories that I saw was why Aerith, what's the reason why Aerith want to go back in time and change. Because firstly, actually the ending of FF7 is that humanity ceased to exist, right?
Kind of, but they kind of left it as an open question.
But the scene where, you know, Aventurer's starting scene, where it was the Raid 13 running in the plains. And then they go to Midgard. Then Midgard was like covered with moss and trees and everything.
Yeah.
That's like I guess like bittersweet thing that like humans no longer is around to destroy the world kind of thing,
like
right?
nature takes over kind of thing.
My understanding that's the ending. And I think also because when Sephiroth died, Sephiroth is somehow linked to the live stream as well. Which is why in Ever Children they have all the infection. It's linked to Sephiroth
being in the live stream.
Corrupting the live stream or something along those lines.
It's COVID-19.
Yeah, it's fucking COVID. So I think like they can't get rid of him. The way to approach it is to relive the timeline and have an alternate ending to just killing Sephiroth and throwing him back to the live stream.
Within Remake.
Yeah. So I think that's the theories they have lah. That why Aerith chose to go back in time.
Interesting.
Because no matter how they shift the timeline, he will always, like, I think they also mentioned like in Evan Children, at the end when Cloud defeated Sephiroth, right?
Yeah.
Then I think Cloud's like, after he defeated him, he said something along the lines of like, just remain in my memory.
Yeah.
Then Sephiroth said something like, I will not be just a memory or something.
Yeah. Like
So
he will never die.
He will never so-called die away lah.
Yeah. He will always be there.
So I guess the theories are that Aerith wants to truly defeat Sephiroth.
Okay.
And to do that, they have to change the timeline lah.
And I mean, but then they never say exactly what she's trying to do lah, right?
No. So that's why the ending of Remake, they talk about how like, they don't know what's next lah, right? Because they have basically the way that what the remake does is to set up space for them to have to re-explore the story and to rewrite the whole narration. Yeah, which I thought was quite cool lah. I mean, other than the fact that you go back, use time, travel back in time kind of thing is like okay, quite cliche, but I think what they did was quite skillful because I think it addresses a lot of things. One is that they allow the OG people to experience the game again, experience the fights again.
Yeah.
In a way that is like still following the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, they create that additional narrative that now like, anything can happen because our story, the fates or the whispers have all been destroyed.
Yeah.
They can rewrite the future.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a good way for them.
It's kind of like a sweet balance. Like at the same time, like you don't totally take away the game and like totally rewrite it anew.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, you create the
It's like
space for you
everyone
to
is
develop.
for a new adventure, like, in a sense.
Yeah.
Even if you are the like a new player. So for me as an old player, I do recognize a lot of the scenes in there. But like you say, because they are trying to so-called remake the timeline, you do kind of feel that the game is new. It's not just a graphic, overhaul of the original, which is I feel is a nice thing. I mean to be done. I mean that they have done, right? Yeah.
Do you feel like I feel like when I first played the game, especially like starting moments with Jessie, I was like, what's this flirting moment? I tell you, at the start, when I played the game, I felt like it was a dating simulator.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
then she was behind him at the bicycle.
do you know that if you complete that bicycle scene properly, or like you did it, there's an achievement for that.
I know.
She will actually kiss you.
Oh, I didn't.
She'll not kiss you, she'll kiss Cloud on the cheeks.
Oh, I just know that was an achievement, but I didn't do it.
Wow, I was like, okay, what is this? Yeah, because she was so whiny, right?
Yes. In the original game, because you don't really play her as a playable character, and then her face is just pixelated. So
you don't feel much.
You don't feel that there's any vibe or whatever between her and Cloud lah.
So I did read up like some people are actually upset that they gave Jessie so much exposure and backstory.
Yeah.
Because they're like in the OG game she was a come and go character.
She's just a caliphate. Yeah.
So they're like but
with big
like nobody cares about her. Yeah. They are supposed to be just like
3 caliphate lah.
They all die in the OG, in the original game.
I think so. Actually, when the plate fell, I think they did. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but now all of them, Jessie, they don't know whether she's alive. I think people are hoping that she's alive. I actually hope that she's alive. Yeah. Then
Biggs and Wedge are dead already, right?
No.
Did they die? No, they didn't.
Wait, Big is the
fat
guy.
No, Wedge is the bigger guy, I think.
Wedge, I think he may
survived.
have died.
I know one guy died while they were like fighting at the
Beach was alive.
The staircase.
The ending scene of Beach was around. What? Marlin was inside.
I think
the
one
room.
of them was still around. So in a sense, I think they are hinting that some things have kind of changed.
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly the same lah. Despite the efforts of the Whispers to like kind of like make it the same.
Do you think that now next part is when you saw that Zack is still alive?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Wait, is he still alive?
So do you remember the ending scene where? But right after, like you watch, you're also confused, right? You see all the soldiers die. Then suddenly, Zack is moving. Then it's like, is that all of them? They were like, what the fuck is going on?
They cross path or something, right? Like Aerith like walked past his image like that.
But then you also remember there's a scene where after they defeated the Whispers, there was a explosion. After they defeated everybody, suddenly there was this explosion that happens from Midgard.
Yeah.
I don't know whether.
You mean after fighting?
After fighting,
Sephiroth.
there was this weird explosion. I think the explosion is linked to the Whispers lah. After.
Okay.
So if you also notice there's a scene where they show the rapper fly past with the dog. Yeah. Then that dog is actually a different dog.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So the theory is that it's that Zack is a different timeline Zack. Yeah.
Makes sense. I wouldn't put it past me that they will bring Zack back as a character.
But then when I saw that, I was a bit confused because the way I read out about a lot of the things, Cloud is what he is today is because Zack died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's like, how would that alternate reality works? That alternate timeline works.
Yeah.
If Zack did not die, then how would Cloud become what he is?
Yeah.
But at that point, Cloud was already being poisoned, right, by the Mako.
Yeah.
Because they were captured and then they were poisoned. They were there for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then Zack is not affected because Zack is a soldier already.
Yes.
But Cloud was like poisoned by the Mako, and then
so
his personality got mixed up with Zack, right? Because his memories of Zack, he kind of assimilated a lot of the memories.
He thought he was like a soldier as well.
Yeah, but he was never a soldier.
Yes. He's just a grunt only lah.
Useless guy. They couldn't make it, right?
Yeah. He was just like a those kind of like 小混混 like that.
Yeah.
The low bees. Yeah.
So I thought I was like, what is this? What's going on?
Yeah, but it's like whenever you do this kind of like time travel, rewinding things back kind of narrative kind of storyline. Yeah, then there's a lot of these kind of questions lah. You know?
Like
chicken and egg.
inconsistency.
Then it's like if he's alive, but then like Cloud is,
Correct.
there's all these questions lah. But we'll see how lah. I mean, it is interesting if to see Zack back as a character because I think he's quite popular when Crisis Core came out lah. Yeah.
So there was it seems like the way that they shot the ending or like they make the ending was that like Aerith knows that Zack is alive in this other dimension, right? Like they walk, like they shouldn't walk past each other.
Yeah. She has this like it's almost as if she perceived him like that.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder how they're gonna resolve this whole like storyline, this gap between these two dimensions. Whether that somehow they will link up somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I think it would be interesting to see Zack back as a character because he didn't get as much exposure, even though his role in Final Fantasy VII, the story of it is actually quite big because he was the genesis of Cloud as the character. So beyond Crisis Core, which actually not a lot of people play lah because it is only on the PSP.
Yeah,
it would be good that they kind of bring him back to give him more exposure to the bigger audience.
Crisis Core also give a lot of background to Sephiroth as a character.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
At that time, they were fighting the Wutai
They
war.
were friends lah. They were friends. He was still part of the good guys lah.
Yeah. So Sephiroth, Genesis, and one more guy.
Yeah,
the one that Zack's
teacher.
Then he became like a
crazy guy.
he became like a chimera shit one.
Oh, I don't know.
I think I went to briefly watch it. What is it called? Let me just check. Crisis Core.
Yeah. But I do think that it will be interesting for them to bring back some of these characters that are popular but only in a small circle just because of the platforms the games were on lah. So I think that would be interesting to bring Zack back. Anju, is it?
Anju, yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Then Genesis also went crazy.
Yeah.
Sephiroth also went crazy.
Crisis Core is not a happy ending, a happy game lah. Yeah. Honestly,
it's like the ending scene where you have to fight a lot of soldiers.
Everyone became
right?
crazy, basically.
Yeah. Then the ending scene you have to fight all the bloody soldiers.
Yeah.
Then you're like, why fight so long haven't end? Then you realize that you have to be overrun and you have to die.
Yeah.
Now, that was quite cool actually.
Yeah, it was like an interesting end to the game lah. Yeah. So I'm quite interested to find out what are they going to do with the storyline for this. I mean, it would even make me quite interested to think about replaying the old game. I mean, once I finished.
I got considered I think when I have more time lah, when I stop playing WoW, maybe I'll go back.
Yeah.
I was thinking, but if I play through just for the story, is it very grindy?
No. I think the story.
If you don't go for all the side things.
Yeah, if you don't like do all the
Ruby
extra
Emerald,
bosses,
the Emerald weapon.
Those then is like you're grinding like crazy, man. If you're just gonna go through the game, I would say 50 hours maybe around there.
50 hours.
But that is the length of old RPGs lah.
Yeah.
FF8 also.
If I'm not wrong, Switch have.
Yeah.
Switch
computer.
Has
the remastered PC as well.
The remastered version.
Yeah.
So and then you can play like a speed up version of it.
Oh yeah, that'll be helpful lah. Because a lot of parts because it's like an old game. A lot of parts are not that optimized. You have to walk around, run around a lot.
There's a question I want to ask. I didn't write here. Who is your favorite girl? Tifa versus Aerith conversation.
Oh yeah. Having said, okay, so you're on this topic, right? Just a side note, my wife actually told me that she has a friend who is also a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, and then they actually named their daughter Aerith. Would you ever do that? If you ever have a daughter? Question of the day.
That's a good question.
Would you ever name your kid over a beloved game character, like a game character that you like a lot?
I guess it really depends on it really depends. Because if it's a character that has some dirt on it, then you also a bit 搞味, right?
Yeah.
Aerith, I think Aerith is okay. I feel like Aerith is okay. I think Tifa maybe no.
So anyway, they named their daughter Aerith, right? And then they still dressed like the baby up in like Aerith baby clothes, those kind. I mean, which is quite cute lah, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
from your reaction, I'm guessing a no.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like kind of imposing, right? To your own daughter. Like, you're living your fantasy through her. Like, it's not something I would do. Like, I understand why some people may have done it, but I personally don't think. I mean, I won't deny that actually Aerith is a nice name. Yeah, I think Aerith is a quite nice, interesting name.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to the extent of fantasizing and like cosplaying my daughter over that name.
I see.
It would just be a name. Then when she asks about it, it's like, oh, is this very
nice
lovely
name.
character from a game that I played? I mean, in the past, people also take names like what do you call it? Like inspiration for everything what they love. Maybe it's a movie character. So I guess like there's nothing wrong lah. Yeah. Having that name as Aerith.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's interesting though.
Yeah. I found it interesting as well. So I also thought about it, and actually, I think I'm quite similar to you in that. If the name is not like out there, it's like super weird. I think it's still okay.
But we have to think about like. Okay, this is a sidetrack topic, but you think about like the implications of having a name over a character, right?
Yeah.
Like if you grow up and people start making fun,
Teasing you.
like people may end up teasing you for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, oh, Aerith so cute. Why you
cuss
you not cute what?
You cuss cute, not cute. Oh god.
The real Aerith where got so ugly one. Wow, fuck.
Oh
you're
my
screwed.
god.
You know, like you set expectations.
Right.
Sort of lah, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
that's true.
But then again, like it could work either way lah. Because if you think about it, I don't know. Like even let's say you name the kid now in 16 years time, will FF7 still be relevant?
Yeah, that's also something that I thought about. Like even if you name your daughter, say Tifa or Aerith.
Tifa
Yeah, and so then when your daughter grows up and then she's like 15, maybe Final Fantasy 7 is not even like in the people's like memory anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
But actually, I have to say, FF7 really lasts how long already? Since 1990.
1997.
20 over years.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure. I feel like it will always be there lah.
Possibly.
Next like 20 years, they will have FF7 50th anniversary shit one. Which reminds me, there was supposed to have the concert.
Distant World?
Is it the orchestra?
Is that the orchestra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They postponed it. I went to check again recently.
I
looking forward to it though.
Yeah. Usually when they come to Singapore, I will go to that. I was just listening the Spotify playlist for that while coming to your place.
Oh, is it?
It's like my go-to playlist most of the time.
Yeah. I wasted. I really want to go and listen to that.
Me and my wife went to the last one when they came here, but that was a long time ago already, 2017.
But that was for
16.
another FF series?
They usually play music from across the series.
Oh.
So they'll pick like a few music from like 7, 8, 9.
So this one is supposed to be purely a FF7, if I'm not wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the FF7 World Tour kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what I remember
I
seeing.
see. Or maybe then it's not Distant World then. Distant World is the one that they play music from across the different Final Fantasy games. Yeah.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, so this is like a separate one.
Okay. Yeah, so they're supposed to have one in Singapore, but
I see.
It was being
Oh
delayed.
well. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Japan have
Yeah, next time we go together.
August 2021.
Yeah.
They're all delayed, right? Singapore to be announced.
I
Shit,
see.
means next year already.
Yeah. I mean,
Fuck.
they're going 11 December to Barcelona. Yeah, definitely next year already. Yeah.
Damn it. But wait, going back to
The question.
Tifa and Aerith.
Okay, I would say
Who
that
is your girl? Who's your waifu?
I would say that when I first played the original, I like Aerith more than Tifa.
Okay.
Not because of anything of their looks or whatever or their personality, but because Aerith is a healer. So I needed a healer in my team, so
And then she died, you're like, no!
yeah.
My healer gone!
Yeah. When I died, I was so traumatized. I was like, what the hell? Like
You spent your time grinding.
I was like leveling her.
Actually very cool, interesting. Because they make you invested in the character and then they kill it.
And then, she has the ability which is called prayer, where you can heal without
Your whole
consuming
party.
mana and all.
Yeah.
So I was like, like as a young gamer, you thought that ability was very useful because you don't use mana, so you can heal your party. So I liked her more when I was playing the original. Remake wise, hard to say.
Because remake, they also give, like with voice acting and everything. Do you play in Japanese or English?
I played in Japanese.
It really give another dimension to the character, right? With voice acting and with a lot more, now with all the CG.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, definitely.
So, with the remake,
let me think about it. Remake, I would say maybe Tifa this time. Maybe Tifa. Yeah.
actually, I remember when I watched Evan Children, Tifa is like so chill. But the Evan Children and Tifa looks very different with the remake Tifa.
Yeah.
I guess there's also improvement in the CG technology.
But it kind of look
similar-ish.
similar.
Yeah, but their costume also slightly different. Because the Evan Children Tifa is older, right? It's supposed to be years after what happens in the original game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
But so my mind, to be honest, I don't feel that strongly for Aerith because my experience with Aerith is very limited. Right. So in Evan Children, it's focused on Tifa's relationship with Cloud.
Yeah.
Tifa got a lot more face time. You see her fight, then she's like so cool.
Yeah.
Right. But Aerith only appear at the end, then the hand like that. Then you see half the face. Only at the last scene you see her walk away with Zack.
Yeah.
So I don't play OG, so I also don't really know. I don't remember much of her also in Crisis Core.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't really remember much about Crisis Core. I remember just running around, throwing weapons, slashing around, doing a lot of bloody side quests. And just go around like slashing a weapon. Yeah. I don't remember much about the review of the relationship because I guess at the time I wasn't really like fully invested in the stories also. So I wasn't sure what's going on or like that this is actually showing the relationship. Important piece of the information that shows about the relationship of Zack and Aerith. Yeah. So playing through this, I get a bit more like the character from Aerith, right?
So after playing the remake,
to be honest, I think purely based on looks, I choose Tifa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's a waifu.
Yeah. But character actually personality, I think Aerith is quite charming.
Yeah. I also kind of liked her when I played the original because she's more of the caring, demure, gentle soul kind of like character. While Tifa is a bit more, how to say, Tifa personality is supposed to be shy as well. Like she's also supposed to be quite shy in the game also.
She got a bit shy. I remember got one scene is the bar. Then Cloud hold the... No, she made a drink for him, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to choose what drink you want or whatever.
Yeah.
Then later you have this, I think it's called Red Cosmo or some shit lah. It's a drink red color. Then he hold it, then it's like quite smooth. He hold the drink up towards her. Then he say it's beautiful.
Instead of pick up line,
then she like shy and walk away. I was like, holy shit! When did Cloud learn all these moves?
He got moves.
I don't remember Cloud having moves. Cloud is like this awkward child, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know what to do when people flirt with him.
Yes.
But
then the thing is that because he inherited Zack's personality, that's why he's so like playboy. Because Zack was the playboy.
Zack was very flirty.
Correct. Yeah.
I see.
While Cloud is when Cloud had his original personality, he was a bit more
shy.
Subservient, shy.
He was ostracized when he was a kid, right?
Yeah. So he's a bit like traumatized. He's a bit quiet one, don't talk one. Yeah. But then when he inherited Zack's personality, who is more extroverted, then that's why he has all these like moves lah, so to speak. But where he got it from, don't know lah.
But I didn't know Tifa was shy.
Yeah.
But actually, what do you think is the main... To be honest, their personality between Tifa and Aerith is rather similar in the in the remake. There weren't like a lot. Like Jessie has a very deep, very what do you call that? Very unique personality that's different from the others, right? She's very, very straightforward. She's very flirtatious. Right? But then like you don't really see that from like Tifa and Aerith. They're just both very caring.
Yeah. But Aerith is supposed to be the straightforward one. She's supposed to be the one that is the go-getter. Because if you remember in Remake, she always be the one like telling like Cloud what to do. Like, I want you to go and do this, do that. But then Tifa is usually when she talks to Cloud, she'll be like shy. She'll be she'll not be so straightforward.
She wouldn't be the decision maker.
Yes, correct.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Aerith is supposed to be that strong, but then she's still gentle lah. So she's that strong, gentle personality.
Yeah.
While Tifa is the shy, but then physically strong person lah. Yeah. So it's the contrast is that lah. So I think if you ask people, there will definitely be two camps. Like there will be people who like the straightforward but gentle, and versus the Tifa, which is the shy but then can like take care of you in real life physically.
So it's very interesting, like all these conversations, because I follow this Facebook group, the FF7 Facebook group, where people share about like their own like random theories, or they share about like maybe like pictures of like who they ship.
Yeah,
you know, like I mean, there's also like the boy love. Also have like Cloud with Sephiroth, or like Cloud with Zack, or like Zack with Sephiroth.
All the pretty boys.
Yeah, all the boy love shit lah.
Yeah.
And people get very upset with the whole like what is canon, what is not. You know, like who does Cloud really love at the end? Like, yeah. So everybody have their own reason why, like Tifa is for Cloud, then Aerith. I think the most of the conversation revolves around that lah. I think generally people believe that Aerith don't truly love Cloud. Aerith love Zack, who she saw a part of Zack inside Cloud.
Yeah,
when they got together and talk. But apparently people also talk about how later on she talked about, although that is how she got attracted to Cloud at the start, she at the end truly loves Cloud for who he is. So there were that camp of people. Then like then Tifa is for Cloud because like since childhood they already have that connection. Yeah, but I remember that people who shit talk about Tifa saying like, when they were childhood, she also just like left him. Yeah, something along those lines. Right?
He left her lah in a sense because he went to be a.
But then there's a part where
soldier.
she like the group of friends ostracized him, and then she was actually part of that group that ostracized him.
Yeah. But I think the other question is, who does Cloud like lah, you know, because actually in the original game they also didn't make that clear. Even though at the start it kind of seemed like it may be Aerith because he was quite close to her, maybe because he inherited Zack's personality. Then after when she died, he was the one who had that like a bit of like intimate moment, like laying her body in the water, that part lah. So maybe I'm not sure, but then
I guess like that's the whole developer's idea lah, right? They wanted it to be open-ended. So that people can choose who they want to like date.
So actually in the original game, there is one part of the game where you actually can choose who you want.
The date, right? On the date, right?
Correct. Yeah. But in the remake they haven't done it yet.
Remake there is one. Actually, there's one scene. There is
outside Aerith's house.
Aerith got adopted, right?
Yeah.
So there's that possibility of 3. Yeah. You also can bring. You can be Barrett. It can be Tifa. It can be Aerith. Which one do you get?
I did both. One part. The first part I did Tifa or something. Then the other part I did like Aerith. Yeah, I did both for that. Yeah, so the original game, you also same thing. So they have the date part. Then it's in this place called the Golden Saucer lah. I think
it's some amusement park.
Correct. And then you can choose like Aerith or Tifa or
which has no impact in the overall story.
No, it doesn't has. It's just a dating scene that. I mean, for the player, it's like you can go out on a date with the girl that you like lah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like dating scene like that lah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
But makes no difference lah. The conversations are still the same.
Yeah. So I think like the OG was like in some sense it's straightforward because it's like Aerith is dead, right? Cloud can't be with someone dead. So Cloud will end up being with Tifa. But actually Cloud also never really been Tifa, because if you watch Evan Children, he went out and do his own things. And like I guess he also have I think the way people look at it is that he has PTSD.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
From Evan Children.
Yeah. So in Evan Children, you can see he has symptoms of PTSD and he was trying to like take on a lot of burden on himself still.
Yeah.
Then Tifa is the one trying to get him to realize that it's okay to rely on other people.
Yeah.
Like come back home, we can do this together.
Yeah. So actually, if you ask me, I feel that Tifa and Cloud is a situation of unrequited love. Like Tifa loves Cloud, but Cloud actually don't love Tifa back. At least that's how that's my opinion.
Like Cloud cares for Tifa.
Yes, as a friend lah. But Tifa do love like Cloud as like a relationship partner kind lah. I feel.
That's how you
I think lah. So if it's canon, if Aerith didn't die, I feel that Cloud would eventually end up with Aerith. If she doesn't die lah. Maybe in Remake 2, if she doesn't die, then we'll see how it goes.
Do you think that now we can move on to part where what do you think will happen next? Do you think Aerith will still die? I have a theory. My theory is that Aerith won't die like how she died in the original game.
Yeah.
But she will return to the live stream.
So
like she would just like
so she's dead. So she's dead lah.
So
she's still dead.
Like I guess like that's a. I mean, I think Aerith cannot stay in the world. She because she died in the original game.
Yeah.
So but then maybe if I am the person who's writing the story, I'll make her return to the live stream a lot more elegant.
Yeah.
And a lot more like better closure kind of thing. At least she get to say her final goodbye before she leaves goes back to the live stream. Yeah, I feel like that's, or maybe she'll be alive in the alternate timeline with Zack. That's why they built the alternate timeline.
That's one theory lah. I mean, if Zack is still alive, she could be.
Just realized that.
But I kind of buy that. Because the death of Aerith in the original is so...
It's quite pivotal, right?
Yeah,
in the character development, in what they do next.
Correct. It is so important to, the game of FF7. I feel that they would still kind of try to retain that element, but maybe, like you say lah, recreate it in a different story. Like for example, maybe her death would provide more closure to defeating Sephiroth or something like that.
Is Aerith's death that made really then like solidify Sephiroth as a bad guy?
Yeah, I would think so.
Would you say that? Because that's what I think that was one of my takeaways lah. Like in terms of how the story goes, like it was a moment where you like, oh fuck this Sephiroth guy. Who have just like he's this true evil.
My healer is gone.
Take away my healer.
The most important character in the game.
So like not killing her, it makes Sephiroth less.
Yes.
Less of an antagonist.
I would totally agree with that. I feel like that scene where Sephiroth like killed Aerith is the one that made him such a memorable villain lah in the whole Final Fantasy world. Because this is one of the few Final Fantasy games whereby main characters are killed off permanently. So I think that's definitely one. Because if you think about it, Final Fantasy started off with Shinra, the corporation, being the bad guy. So Shinra president and whoever all the lackeys lah, they're bad guys until the middle part of the game where they start to shift towards Sephiroth being the mastermind behind all the thing lah. And then the killing of Aerith is the one that made him like, oh, you must hunt this guy down right now because he's the one who killed whoever. Whoever you
There's
like.
There's a personal vengeance to it lah, rather than just like, oh, saving the world, but like.
Correct.
Yeah, this motherfucker. Yeah.
Yes, correct. We made it personal. Interesting. So I would think that is so important to F7 that I feel like at least my guess is that they will still try to retain that, because I'm sure fans would still kind of think that is an important part of FF7.
So there's an interesting thing. So if you played the remake, when you're fighting the last whispers, the big whispers, right?
Yeah.
As you defeated them, the characters gain back memories.
Yeah.
Right.
some, like,
I also
flash-
realized that when I'm watching all these flashbacks, right, those are all scenes from Adventurer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Because I watch it again. When I watch the Adventurer again, then when I play that fighting scene,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I just saw all these scenes. Like the Red 13 running in the plains. And then there's the stabbing scene. And then there's like, there's one scene is like Cloud. It's like back view of Cloud holding the sword.
Yeah.
And Sephiroth is chonging at him. Those are all scenes for Adventurer.
Oh, I didn't.
So if you go and watch Adventurer, you go and play the last chapter. Then you will realize all the scenes are from Adventurer.
I see.
So I look at it, I was like, is it they no budget? But I guess there's some consistency.
I didn't make that connection just because I thought it was just remake of scenes from the original.
Yeah, it was from Adventurer.
I see.
Yeah, so they actually, it seems like they gain all the memories of what would have actually happened.
Yeah.
The normal storyline, and they have knew that Aerith would have died.
Yeah.
In the original timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know before they went into the portal to fight the final few bosses, then Aerith like kind of warned them to say like, if you step into this, everything would change.
Yeah, you don't know what's ahead.
Yeah, what's
because I think that was also a scene where it highlights like Aerith knew everything. Until that part, she's like, okay, I literally don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
Because the original timeline doesn't have all these things.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, moving forward, I feel that, I mean, based on what they did with the first part, I would say that they may still retain a majority of the original, but then so the canonical one, like Aerith dying, because it's so important, right? But the thing is that the first part of the game, they already suggested that they would change the important parts of the game as well.
Yeah.
I feel like they may still retain it, but they'll change how it happens lah. I feel lah.
Then hopefully all the other characters. I think the other character that I really would like to see is Vincent.
Okay.
Vincent is such a cool character.
Yeah.
In Adventurer, he was quite cool too.
You know, the first time I played through original, right? I played through the original, I think twice or thrice lah. The first time I played original, because I was too like lame or dumb as a player, then I actually didn't get Vincent as
It's
a
option, technically an optional character, right?
So
Yuffie also optional, was it?
Yuffie, but I got her lah. I think she's easier to find in a sense. I'm not sure whether she's optional or not, but it's easier to find her. But Vincent is really like, you need to deviate from the main storyline to try to find him. So in the first part, the first time when I played, I actually didn't get him at all. Like he was.
You didn't even realize
that was
this
who the hell is Vincent? And they keep saying like, there's this character very powerful. It's like Vincent. Then I was like, who the hell is Vincent? So I had to play one more time. That okay. I realized that actually you have to find him lah. Yeah. He's like in the basement, sleeping as a vampire.
But his story was that he was captured and then he secluded himself, right? Or something.
I forgot already.
I think I briefly read do you play his story on the Dirge of Cyberus?
No.
I didn't play also.
Yeah, I also didn't play, but I actually had the game, but I only played like a first part of that.
Oh really? It was a PS2 game, PS.
I forgot which one, but it's like a shooter game like that lah. Yeah.
I also didn't. I didn't really look into it, but it's supposed to explain a bit more of the storyline.
I see. Yeah.
But I actually, it would be interesting lah to see how things pan out. Yeah, I like how it's like there's an open. Where do you think? Because I think they said, they already highlight how many chapters it will be.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Let me check. How many chapters? How many episodes?
Did they even say when? I mean, like any timeline will come out.
I remember seeing some. I think there should be at least 3. Wait, shit. They did some interview with the. This kid. So blah blah blah. They say it's likely a trilogy. Trilogy.
Oh really?
Trilogy.
So there's 3 instead of 2.
I don't think the next. Because my understanding is that the getting out of Midgard is like maybe 10-20% of the full story.
Yeah. It's actually just the start only. That's why I say Shinra is only the start only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then after that you have a lot more. But the a lot more is also exploring the backstories of the character, was it? It's like you relive the part where Cloud first fought with Sephiroth.
Yeah, you'll go back to Nibelheim where Cloud where I think was Nibelheim's Cloud's hometown? I forgot already.
Tifa.
Yeah. I think it's his hometown. Yeah. Nibelheim. Then that's where Sephiroth burned the town.
Oh yeah, he massacred the whole town, right?
Yeah, he has that flashback. Yeah.
There's an anime, Do you watch that before?
Oh really?
There's an anime that shows that whole scene.
The Nibelheim scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then like, that I also was quite confused when I watched there was a part where in the remake, Tifa was holding the Sephiroth sword.
Yeah.
That was actually
That was actually
actually initially I thought
from the original, if I'm not wrong. There was a part. So that was when oh no, wait, hold on. Oh, that is in Crisis Core. Sorry, Crisis Core. That part whereby Zack and Cloud, they went to, I think it was also Nibelheim lah.
Yeah.
And with Sephiroth as well. They were doing some mission, and that was the first time when Sephiroth went crazy because I think he discovered he was like part of Genova.
He was an experiment,
something like that. And then that was when he wanted to enact his crazy mission of destroying the world lah.
Yeah.
And then I think he was it that he fought Zack, and then Zack kind of
Zack
lost, and then Cloud tried to take revenge, then he also lost. But then in that fight, I think Sephiroth stabbed him or something like that, and then Tifa tried to save Cloud.
No, I think initially her dad got killed or something.
Okay.
Tifa's dad got injured or killed by.
Yeah.
Then she was very angry. She's like so sick of everything.
Yeah.
So she take the sword. She wanted to fight Sephiroth, but Sephiroth just smacked her away or some shit.
Yeah. Something like that. I think it was a Crisis Core, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. In the original, actually, those things were very hazy. Like you went back to Nibelheim, they did suggest a bit, like they did give you the background of like Cloud is actually not a soldier. He had a poisoning, those kind, but they didn't elaborate as much as Crisis Core where they have all the backstory.
I see. So all those only came out in
Crisis Core. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. If they treat 2 more games.
Well, 2 more is long, man. I mean, I'm not sure when the next one is coming out, but then it means that the game will be released over like what?
I mean, now they have they basically now they have an open slate one. They can rewrite the story any way they want.
Yeah.
So literally they can have like new villains. I guess a bit hard lah. I wonder if like Kadaj and his gang.
Oh yeah.
Karsang. Kadaj from Adventure, they will come back again. They don't even know where they really appeared from. They were like
just random.
I read
people.
up it's like they're like names lah. They call it like names.
Oh.
And then the whole thing is like it was based on the theory of
come out
like
from live stream.
What's that? The coming home. Like everyone who's what they call it, infected by the Genova cells, they will all want to go back home.
Yeah. They want to reunite.
Reunite.
Yeah. Like they want to like combine lah. Yeah.
That's so interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward though. Let's see how. But then it means that we probably have to buy a PS5.
Yeah, Final Fantasy has always been my reason of buying a new console. I bought my PS4 just because I want to play Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Then I bought my PS3 because I wanted to play FF
13, 12?
13, I think. Yeah, 13.
13 is a lightning one.
Yeah, 13 or 12, yeah. 13 is lightning one, yeah. That wasn't great lah.
But do you like the fighting system? Actually, to be honest, fighting wise, Tifa is my favorite character.
Yes, I agree.
I love the fast attacks, quick attacks.
Yeah.
I hate using Aerith.
Oh,
Aerith is like
the magic one.
Then she will spin around. It's like, oh god,
can
you attack faster? Then the attack so low damage. That's like, but technically you can make her stronger lah.
Yes.
So I was reading up like some people say because she's a range character.
Yeah.
But if I'm using range, I'd rather use Barrett lor.
Yes,
his machine gun, then you reload it.
Yeah. But I mean, her damage potential is actually quite high lah.
Yeah,
if you build
that's
her
my
properly.
as well.
She can hit like the damage limit one. Yeah. If you.
But I didn't like her. She's very clunky to use.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. But I did use her quite a lot because I think there's a few skills that I like from her. I forgot which one already. Some of her limit breaks. I think. I forgot which
her
one
limit break. She got 1 or 2. Should be 2, right? Everyone got 2, right?
Yeah. I forgot which one.
One is the prayer, right?
Yeah.
Prayer is to heal everybody. No, prayer is not. Prayer is just a.
No, prayer is just the healing.
It's just the material, right?
Yeah.
Forgot what's her limit break.
I think one is heal, one is forgot what already. But anyway, I remember she has one ability whereby she just shoots this like beam like that one. Her ability, not prayer lah. It's her specific ability one.
Yeah, that you can cast lah.
Yeah. I kinda like to use that.
What's her limit break? Let me see.
I think that's one of her.
One is to
I think that's one of
nullify
her limit
damage.
break. Yeah, I think that's one of her limits.
Let's see.
The
Barat, Tifa, Aerith. Healing Wind and Planet
Yeah, that one rubbish lah. Yeah. Refocus is everyone has.
To make the three bars, right?
Yeah.
But how do you like the battle system? For you playing so many different FFs? Because to be honest, when I played FF8, after a while it feels a bit grindy.
Yeah.
Because the FF8 system, you have to draw magic, right?
Yes.
Then you have to draw all the magic in order to equip it to your whatever strength or whatever.
They call it junction lah. Junction.
Then you can make them more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hated doing that because it's like so painful.
Yeah. It's quite grindy. Yeah, it's quite grindy.
Then it's like, if all your characters want to have it, then you must draw don't know how many hundreds of it.
Yeah.
In order to max out everybody.
I mean, actually nowadays, Final Fantasy is, it's just going towards this trajectory of having like real life battle.
Action. The battle system is more action based lah.
Yeah, action. It's not turn based anymore lah. It's action RPG.
So this one has a bit of both lah, right?
Yes.
Because that whole idea of charging your action bar is actually it's like the more attack, it's like taking your turn faster, right? But at the same time, you're not just waiting, you're doing something.
Trying to merge the new and the old in a sense. Yeah. But I think what they did in this remake is it's good lah. I don't think going back to the old turn-based system is the right way to do.
It's what people want, right?
Yeah, I feel like nowadays people are just expecting like faster action.
Turn-based was done because that was, I guess, a limit of the system lah.
I think so. Yeah.
Right? In order to, but I mean, they did it well because it's created still kind of like a complex battle system.
Yeah.
To work around.
Yeah, quite a lot of strategy still involved in the game. Even though you expect that this kind of like action RPG sometimes just like smash your button, but I think FF7 Remake still got like they mix the strategy part still quite well. Yeah. So I think they did well lah. They did well on the battle system. I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to watch. Like some people in the Facebook group that I follow, some of them they will show like they actually played so much that they replayed the game and they will like they will show like, oh, final battle is Sephiroth taking 0 damage.
Yeah,
that was like, actually quite impressive lah.
Yeah. They have all these people
have to counter everything, then you have to dodge everything.
Yes.
Just make sure. Yeah, those are quite good. Do you fought all the simulator fights?
Yes, I fought on the simulator. Yeah. I completed those lah. Yeah, so all this like additional content I complete, but those like you need to retrack back. Those I never lah. Yeah.
I thought the scene where like Tifa, the so-called date night, that was quite heartbreaking to see like Tifa crying. Cause Tifa cried, right? Then Cloud don't know what to do. Then I was like, dude, just fucking hug her. It took him so long to actually realize what to do. Cause I think he only did it because he saw Barat did it to Tifa previously. After the whole plate crashed.
Yeah. He's supposed. That's why I think he does not like love Tifa. Like I think like.
Wow, you're gonna trigger a lot of people.
I mean, you can
the theory.
You can,
but at the same time, you also can say the same thing about Aerith, right? Like his actions are generally quite neutral, and he doesn't express how he feels.
So if you play the original, at least my feeling is that if you play the original, right, the vibe you get from Cloud and Aerith is more romantic as compared to Tifa and Cloud, who is even though Tifa always sees like Cloud as a romantic partner, but you never get the vibe that Cloud would see Tifa as one. At least that's how I feel. Because and somehow Aerith is a new person that Cloud met in the game. Because Tifa and Cloud already knew each other last time, right?
Yeah.
So throughout the original game, how the story kind of progressed was that Aerith and Cloud got to know each other more and more, and then they kind of spend more and more time together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether that was meant to suggest that they were in a romantic relationship, or they were trying to build it up so that when Aerith died, the impact would be at its maximum. So you could see it in a lot of ways. Yeah, so it does not actually mean that Aerith and Cloud are together lah. It could just mean that the game producers want to make you feel sad lah when
I'm
she
pretty
died.
sure they're gonna keep it open ended lah, because I guess that's also part of the appeal.
Yeah,
Like people can fantasize whatever they want in terms of who who they want to ship.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they won't like give a straight answer. They'll just want you to guess, and then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Aerith will go back to the live stream. Aerith won't be around.
I would think so as well.
It's just a matter of how.
I feel like leaving her alive is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because her death is so important to the whole story of FF7.
Yeah. Like maybe they will also look at how to make. I don't know whether they're even bother to try to make Sephiroth evil already, because in Remake you already take it as he's evil already. What?
Actually,
right.
Do you remember the last scene of Remake when Cloud and Sephiroth had this one little conversation
In the edge of the
planet or
universe or some shit.
and then he was telling, I don't know what he was saying lah.
7 seconds.
What's that? I don't know. Have you read any theories
The
about
theory
it?
was that 7 seconds was like how long they link it to a lot of things, like some like that was the number of seconds it took for this scene to happen in the OG, or like that was how long the meteor took to
come down.
Wait,
on
let me
the
see.
Earth. Okay, but I brought that up just because I felt that scene kind of made Sephiroth not a bad guy. Like it portrayed him as if he was helping the party like that.
Really?
That was the vibe that was the interpretation I got lah, because he was just like having a chat with Cloud. Then I think maybe his intention was to try to bring the timeline back to its original lah. I'm not sure.
No, so if you look at it, actually both Sephiroth and Aerith, actually they both want to change the timeline. Right? Because it is to Sephiroth's benefit also, means he can do more different things.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see here. Is this? No, this is not. They did say.
I just thought that it was quite an interesting ending lah to the game. Made me curious on how they would also develop Sephiroth's character if, let's say, the narrative of the game has changed lah. Because Sephiroth did start off as a non-bad character.
Yeah, you see here? It takes exactly 7 seconds in the OG, starting from the flash of light above Aerith when Sephiroth appears to pierce through her body. So this is the conspiracy that people have lah. Like they draw that's the 7 seconds. But I think the ending where he tried to offer Cloud a helping hand, right?
Yeah.
Say, come and join me. I think it's just him trying to... Like, Sephiroth is always trying to get into Cloud's head. So I think that was just him doing the same thing to him. Yeah, you can see that he almost raised out his hand. Then he's like, oh wait, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Cause I guess Sephiroth had some influence over him, just because Cloud himself is also infected, right? You see? There's some link lah because of the Mako and all that shit.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether he's...
Was he injected with Sephiroth cells or something? Because he was a failed experiment, right, by Hojo.
Yeah. I mean, was he injected? Let me think. He was in that Mako reactor thing with
Zack. But Zack
lah,
can tolerate because he's a soldier.
Yeah, so he's poisoned. He's like so-called like poisoned with Mako lah. And I think the Mako thing would link people to Sephiroth. But I don't think he has any Genova cells inside him lah. Or else he'll become like the...
But in Evan Children...
The Kudai.
Yeah, he was just poisoned from Mako.
Yeah.
But in 7 he also was poisoned. He got infected also.
Yes. But he's not... He doesn't have any Genova cells inside. He's just
subsequent infusion of Genova cells. So they were trying to
inject him.
Yeah, I think Hojo did it or something. Let's see, Joe Stigma, Post Crisis, Meteor 4, experiments. Yeah, he injected. So he tried to turn Cloud into a
Union Theory. Okay.
Yeah.
Turning them to Sephiroth's clone.
Succumb, develop severe case.
Okay, maybe he did then. Yeah.
Yeah. So in some sense, Sephiroth can
Control him.
not say influence lah, I guess.
Yeah.
Can influence Cloud, which is why Cloud keep having all those visions, right? But I think there was a lot of people also complaining about how they feel like they make the whole Sephiroth character a bit too like much. Cause like in the OG you don't even hear about Sephiroth until much later.
Yes,
a bit
yes.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just focusing on Shinra, right?
Shinra, yeah.
But then it's like in this remake, it's like immediately Sephiroth is in your face.
Oh.
Right. At the very start, they were running around.
But I guess because everyone knows him now, right?
And it's not the same game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's such a big character now. Because last time when you play original, everyone is like, oh, everyone is fresh, everyone is new. You do not know about Sephiroth. But now everyone knows him. So I think they have to use him at the start. You can't like just push him back to like,
you can't wait until later, right?
Like second game or third game, like people will be like, where is he? Yeah. Right.
But I mean, it makes sense from the narrative If let's say they're showing how they want to change the storyline, and the reason why they want to do it is because Aerith already see the future kind of thing.
But I'm happy with the direction they're taking I feel that actually, I'm not sure whether because I played FF7 when I was very young, but I always felt that FF7 story is actually very hard to understand. There's a lot of parts of the story in the original will be like, huh? Even the ending like the ending also is like not a real ending. You don't exactly know what happens.
How did the ending work?
So ending is like you fight Sephiroth in the core of the world and then it was destroyed. Then everyone tried to escape the...
Wait, the core though, is it the same place where the remake you see at the end? They were fighting the edge of the universe or some shit. Right?
No, different.
It's not there.
Wait,
I thought that was
the last
same
part
place.
of the original fight was just like this pitch black darkness.
Yeah. Then he transformed this weird creature.
Yeah. So the last part was that they are going into the crater this place called a crater at the Earth, and then the whole party go down. Then they found Sephiroth inside the core of the Earth. Then he was trying to summon Meteor right. So you try to fight him to stop him, and then fight. Then you kind of defeated him the last part. But then you realize that even defeating him will not stop the Meteor. So then the Meteor continue to come down. Then
the live stream came out.
Yeah, correct. The live stream came out together with Aerith's help because Aerith is in the live stream as well, right? Because she died already. So then the live stream tried to push up the Meteor or something. And then the last few scene is just that you see Midgar, then the people are just looking up in the sky. Then the Meteor is just still crashing down. Then the live stream kind of envelops supports it but you do not know whether it crashed or don't ever crash.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you don't know.
That's how it ended.
It just so it slowly fades into white. And you never actually get a resolution of what happens.
Oh.
Yeah. So then after that then will be the scene with Raid 13 running and then so you'll be like, But it was suggested that scene was thousands of years later. Long
because
time.
Raid 13 that creature they can live for many years.
Yeah. So it was long time later. So you actually don't get any resolution of what happened in the end. So I would say FF7 is the storyline is kind of like that. There's a lot of parts whereby you are very confused, and then maybe because I was quite young or so, then I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm
dumb too.
So now that I play too dumb really. So now that I play Remake, I would play actually with also fresh eyes in trying to understand some of the narration and some of the storylines in the game Yeah. Even though I played the original.
It's quite cool. Because me playing second time and reading up a bit more. Then keeping an eye out for some of the subtle hints here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second playthrough when I played in hard mode, it was quite interesting. Yeah. Seeing all this he has this vision. Then it's oh yeah, he had this vision because it is linked to this or that. So those were quite interesting. But anyway, wow. We spent about 1 hour 20 minutes. Surprising. Yeah. We're always very surprised.
Only Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Oh,
okay, I can go
maybe
on a whole day with Final
last
Fantasy.
part. what do you think about the whole PS5 Yuffie expansion?
Okay.
Because there are a lot of people that are upset about, like we just briefly also talk about it.
Yeah.
Like how the whole, it's like a few chapters, right? I think 2 or 3 chapters.
Just a short one.
Yeah, that you can play Yuffie.
Yeah.
In the FF7, in the version, in the FF7, in the PS5 version of FF7 Remake.
I'm okay with it just because I have never had a strong connection with Yuffie.
I don't really care about
Even
her.
if I played, when I played the original through like I think thrice. I don't think I've used her at all. Even though actually she's quite a strong character supposedly lah, because she has some ability where she's like the thief character in the game like that. But I think I forgot what's her ability like. Yeah, she's a ninja. Then there's some tutorial that'll teach you how to like make Yuffie so overpowered in the game, like through some material links that she basically can do 999 all the way through the game lah. But when I was playing the original, I've never used her.
Can't be bothered with her.
Yeah. I just never had a strong connection with the character.
In the OG FF7, when you go into a fight with 3 characters, you cannot change them already, right?
Yeah,
it's always the same 3.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So
are there times where you are being forced to use certain characters? Like because of certain part of the game. You know, like in FF8, sometimes you go certain areas, your team gets split up, you only can use a fixed character.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think F7 you can choose every time, except for when I forgot whether there are certain scenes where some characters are like incapacitated, then you may not be able to use them.
Okay.
But the main characters like Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, usually you can use them all the way. Okay. So like for example, I play once, I use the main, like a few main characters like Cloud, Tifa, Barrett. And then next time I use is like Cloud. No, Aerith died, so you never be able to use
rest
her.
in pieces.
Yeah. So then the next time I use like Cloud, Red 13, then maybe like Seed, and then next one is like Cloud, Vincent, and then like I don't know who, Kate Sith, I think. Yeah, but then I've never used her, so I never developed any connection with her lah. But I would imagine that if she was my main character in the original, and I cannot play her in this
you'll feel upset.
I feel a bit sian lah. Yeah, I would want to play that lah. Yeah, how about you?
My connection with Yuffie is just in Ever-Truant, the ending scene where she says come out together with
the fighting scene.
Sid, right? On the airplane fighting Bahamut, right?
Yeah.
And then Crisis Core, she also appeared for a short while.
Oh, she did? I forgot already.
She did. I think because they re-explore the whole conflict ma. Then I think Zack has some experience with Yuffie, but at that time Yuffie is still a kid lah. Actually, she is like forever a kid.
She's still a kid lah.
I don't know, but in that scene, it's like she was a lot younger.
Okay.
And she was always challenging like Zack to a fight or something. But yeah. So I don't really feel too strong about it. I feel like it would be fun to see how they did it lah. But yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out too much.
Yeah. But I think Yuffie, now that I think about it, she's quite a unique character in the game. Like she's not the old school like just hack and slash like Cloud like that. I think she has I'm quite interested to see how they will like make her into a character, remake her into a character in the
There's
series.
one more character that goes along with her one. Yeah. Like, there's this other guy. It's a new character lah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't really know who. I don't think they really talk much
like
about.
A new character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yuffie DLC.
Yeah. I only know the main ones lah. Yeah, she's the materia thief.
I don't think they really show much. Okay, I don't know. But she looks cute lah.
Yeah.
But she's like too young. She
Yeah.
legal.
Yeah, she's like
I don't think
I
she's
don't know,
legal.
she's like how old in the game lah? Like what, 14?
Oh god.
15?
Oh god.
She looks young.
Yeah. But I saw the fight scenes, they look quite cool lah. Quite interesting.
Yeah. I think Yuffie will be an interesting character to play.
Yeah.
Especially if you play her like
Then you have
in Remake
Sid,
lah.
right? Sid also.
Yeah, Sid,
I think
Casey,
Vincent will be interesting
Vincent,
also.
Red 13. Yeah. Red 13 was one of my favorite character in FF7.
Too bad you only see him fight, you cannot use him, right?
Yeah.
In the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only NPC lah. You cannot like use him. Yeah, but he was one of my favorite characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I sometimes gravitate towards this kind of non-human characters when I play RPG. Like, I like to play this out like not human lah.
Like fantasy kind of
those like
creatures.
like animal or whatever. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay lah. I think we have talked a lot already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite excited to see what's next for FF7.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, you can go and check out the anime. And later I can show you. We can go and go. I think it should be on. Actually, maybe not on YouTube.
FF7 anime.
Yeah, they show that scene
Like the
but the scene, the way they play out is quite different from like how, like I think there are some versions. The way you see it is like Cloud stab Sephiroth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then later he threw Sephiroth into the base of the Mako reactor into the live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, cause that's how Cloud first defeated him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then another, I think the anime shows is like he stabbed him already. Then later Sephiroth jumped into the reactor willingly himself. After he cooked the Genova's head or some shit.
Okay.
So I also don't know. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, can go and check it out. Anyway, come to the end of the podcast. Hope you guys, if you are still here, you're a nerd.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy fan.
Yep. Yeah, and that's all. Thanks for watching. I think there's a thunderstorm happening, right?
It's raining heavily outside.
Yeah,
now.
I can hear the rain hitting the window grills. But yep, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of podcast, and yep,
Okay,
we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.